Prepare to delve into the murky depths of two of the most secretive and manipulative organizations in their respective worlds, AIPAC and the Akatsuki. I am your host, Mitsuri, and in today's video, we'll explore the startling similarities between these shadowy groups, both wielding significant influence behind the scenes with questionable intentions and controversial actions. Join me as we uncover how these organizations operate in the shadows, manipulating events to suit their hidden agendas. Strap in. This is going to be a revealing journey. Number 10. Manipulative funding. AIPAC is notorious for its strategic funding of U.S. politicians, aiming to sway their decisions and secure pro-Israel policies. This tactic closely mirrors the Akatsuki's manipulation in Naruto, where they covertly influence villages and people to further their own ends. Both organizations use money and power to weave their influence deeply into political and social structures, ensuring their agendas are prioritized over others. In Naruto, the Akatsuki's infiltration into various villages through subtle manipulation and strategic alliances reflects AIPAC's method of embedding itself within American politics by financially supporting certain politicians. This influence AIPAC wields makes it so only House representatives who've held their sights at Congress for a while are able to speak up, like Nick Fuentes explained in this clip here.
And this is where their power comes from. It's all a question of scale. And so this is where you realize the extent of our problem. And you realize this is why things are the way that they are. Because the most that someone that opposes Israel can ever hope to do is become a representative at most. And only those representatives who have been around for a long time in a reliably red district, or blue for that matter, with a loyal constituency, probably earned rapport with the voters for years, only they can express a moderate counter-Israel position. And they'll still be punished, and that's as high as they will be able to climb. And this is our political system.
Number 9. Under surveillance. AIPAC, much like the Akatsuki, operates under the watchful eyes of those who seek to expose their activities. AIPAC Tracker on Twitter is similar to Jiraiya's investigations in Naruto, where he delves deep into the workings of the Akatsuki to understand their motives and plans. Both groups are shrouded in secrecy, prompting investigative efforts from external parties aiming to bring transparency to their actions. The way Jiraiya gathers intelligence on the Akatsuki, risking his life to uncover the truth, parallels how groups like AIPAC Tracker scrutinize the flow of money and influence from AIPAC to politicians. These efforts are crucial in demystifying the operations of powerful shadowy groups, shedding light on their impacts on policy and governance. Number 8. Supporting controversial values. AIPAC's support for politicians who oppose traditional values such as same-sex marriage showcases their selective advocacy, aligning with their strategic interests rather than broader ethical standards. This is reminiscent of the Akatsuki's support for destructive goals in Naruto, such as capturing tailed beasts regardless of the chaos and destruction caused to the villages. Both AIPAC and the Akatsuki back agendas that serve their interests. Even when these stances contradict broader ethical or societal norms, their actions demonstrate a prioritization of strategic goals over the well-being or rights of the broader population, revealing a stark hypocrisy in their operations. Number 7. Facing formidable opposition. Just as the Akatsuki faces determined opposition from Naruto and his friends, AIPAC encounters strong resistance from figures like Nick Fuentes. Naruto's relentless pursuit to understand and counter the Akatsuki's plans mirrors Fuentes' vocal criticisms of AIPAC's influence in American politics. Both Naruto and Fuentes embody the resistance against overpowering forces that seem to manipulate from the shadows. Their battles highlight the struggle between grassroots movements and established power structures, where determination and courage play key roles in challenging the status quo. Number 6. Concealing true intentions. AIPAC, like the Akatsuki, thrives in secrecy, often masking their true intentions from the public to avoid scrutiny and opposition. In Naruto, the Akatsuki's true objective, to collect all tailed beasts and use them to dominate the world, was kept secret under various smaller misleading operations. The secretive nature of both AIPAC and the Akatsuki ensures they can operate without immediate backlash, allowing them to build up their strategies and reach without public interference. Ultimately, our country shouldn't be controlled by a hostile minority, which is something Nick explained perfectly in this clip.
Our country should not be controlled by a hostile minority. That is what they are. There is no other way to describe it. They are defensive, insecure, and that has made them, now that they have power, that has made them hostile. That has made them hostile to the white population because of the legacy of the Holocaust. It has made them hostile to Orthodox Christianity. And by Orthodox, I don't mean Eastern Orthodox. I mean Catholicism. I mean lowercase o, Orthodox Christianity, because of the so-called oppression of the Catholic or East Orthodox churches over the thousands of years. And it shouldn't be that way. America is a white nation. America is a Christian nation. It shouldn't be led by a hostile minority group of non-white, non-Christians that hate Gentiles or don't trust Gentiles or hate the Catholic Church or don't trust Catholics.
Number 5. Pawns of a greater power. Just as the Akatsuki were eventually revealed to be mere pawns in Kaguya Otsutsuki's grand scheme in Naruto, AIPAC can be seen as a tool of the larger Israeli state agenda. Both organizations appear powerful and independent, but ultimately serve higher, more powerful interests that guide their actions and strategies. The realization that both groups are manipulated by greater forces changes the perception of their power and autonomy. This revelation in Naruto shifts the narrative focus and adds complexity to the conflict, and reminds of just how right Nick's position is on this topic, like in the following clip.
Over our own country, and we are perfectly capable of conducting affairs with other countries without that kind of interference. So before anybody says, oh, well, it's actually a good thing, well, let Congress do it because Congress is in charge of our country, ostensibly, not Israel. Well, so they say.
Number 4. Hypocrisy in policy. AIPAC's support for politicians who advocate for open borders in the U.S., while Israel maintains strict border policies, showcases a striking hypocrisy similar to various deceptions in Naruto. This double standard in policy advocacy highlights a self-serving nature that prioritizes strategic gains over consistent ethical stances. The contradiction between what AIPAC promotes in America versus what is practiced in Israel is akin to the duplicitous tactics used by several characters in Naruto, who often preach one thing but practice another, revealing a complex landscape of morality and strategy where ends often justify the means. Number 3. Failed bribery attempts. AIPAC's attempts to bribe and influence politicians can backfire, similar to how the Akatsuki's efforts to recruit Sasuke ultimately failed in Naruto. Sasuke's rejection of their offers and his subsequent path towards redemption mirror the hope that politicians like Trump might resist such influences and pursue more independent policies. Just as Sasuke comes to understand the depth of the Akatsuki's manipulation and chooses a different path, there is hope that politicians who have previously succumbed to lobbying might reconsider their stances and align closer with genuine public interests, rather than those dictated by external entities. Number 2. War advocacy. AIPAC's aggressive lobbying for American intervention against Palestine parallels the Akatsuki's love for instigating wars in Naruto. Both groups advocate for conflict to further their own agendas, often at the cost of widespread suffering and instability. This warmongering stance not only destabilizes regions, but also perpetuates a cycle of violence and retaliation, similar to the endless battles initiated by the Akatsuki. Both AIPAC and the Akatsuki use war as a tool to achieve their goals, disregarding the humanitarian costs involved. This also is a reminder of the fact that all of us should oppose this war, just like Nick explained in this clip.
The America First position is to support the Palestinians on this one. I've been saying it. I've been saying it on Twitter, and look, I don't care that the left supports Palestine because it's the right position. And, you know, I keep hearing from these conservatives, they insist that they're not shills for Israel. That's all I hear on Twitter. Well, I'm not a shill for Israel, but... And all they want to do is attack the Palestinians.
Number 1. Inevitable defeat. Ultimately, just as the Akatsuki were defeated in Naruto, signifying the triumph of good over evil, there is a belief that AIPAC and similar lobbying powers will face their downfall. The narrative of good prevailing over malevolent forces is a hopeful reminder that despite the power and influence of such groups, they are not invincible. The defeat of the Akatsuki gives hope to those fighting against overwhelming odds, suggesting that with perseverance, unity, and the help of Jesus Christ, even the most formidable adversaries can be overcome. This parallels the hope among activists and critics that movements driven by genuine justice and moral clarity will eventually dismantle manipulative and harmful influences in politics. As we conclude our exploration of the dark corners of global and fictional politics, we hope this comparison between AIPAC and the Akatsuki has illuminated the disturbing realities of power and manipulation. Remember, awareness is crucial in understanding the forces that shape our world and the worlds we escape to in fiction. Thanks for joining this deep dive, and until next time, stay vigilant and informed. See you in the next revealing video.